Complexity of the computer and the brain has been a tough match between the two since the world's first introduction to computers in the midst of the 1820s. Charles Babbage had developed the world's first computer. Many people at the time were bewildered at the creation and could never had predicted what impact this product will have on future society. From the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, engineers and scientists alike strive to duplicate similar systems and technologies as brains. Computers are composed of various configurations and consist of multiple parts. As complex machineries, their systems are oftentimes seen as bulky. However, as technology advances, modernized versions are much smaller in size. All computers contain a central processing unit. As a central unit, its function is to process information and data that is inputted into them. In addition, they also have some sort of hard drive that stores information. On the other hand, biologists have found that the human brain consists of more systems of nerves and neurons than computers can ever have, even at this era of constant innovation. The makeup of the human brain is essentially made out of cells, like the rest of the body. How the brain functions is essential to understanding how it differs in terms of anatomy. Another differing factor is the two systems' way of retrieving data. It is elusive on how the brain derives our thoughts. However, from the information gathered within the span of hundreds of years, since technological appearance, it has become easier to find the answer. There is the cerebral cortex that is the most dominant part of the brain's nervous system. The cortex constitutes intellectual and sensory aspects, which humans perceive to be thoughts. One of the functions that the cortex is responsible for in particular is memory and the brain's understanding of differing situations, both inside and outside of the body. Although memory is listed as another aspect of the cortex function, it is also actually an important factor that plays in the brain's intellectual tract. The memory retrieving process is a complex procedure that is directly associated with elaborate various outside encounters, which includes educational as well as emotional complexes. In terms of long and short-term memory, the cortex is like computers divided into two parts. For long-term, the cortex centers hippocampus, while the prefrontal is what used to retrieve short-term memory. Finally, the last difference that is to be presented is the analytical aspect of the brain and the computer once the data is retrieved. The memory of the brain cannot be compared to one's of a piece of technology, as it differs in the ways that it performs and operates. A computer is only able to save information if it's programmed to do so. The memory compartment can be split up into two forms, main memory and auxiliary memory. Main memory is temporary, since the data that is saved into integrated circuits are then removed or erased once the monitor is switched off. Another type of an auxiliary memory is what can be found in a USB drive or a hard drive. The way that the two operates and functions is wildly different due to the components that make up the systems and the likelihood of an error occurring. Computer central processing unit is the main factor that plays in analyzing information. While these units are connected to their other circuits and hardware, it still does not make as many errors as the brain due to the fact that brains are constantly dealing with other parts of the human body. Brains are much more susceptible to making errors since the human body has so many functions to run, therefore causing more stress on the brain to add or leave ideas in order to make room for more. The belief that computers and brains are the same is simply outdated. This argument has not only been a way for humans to understand more about the brains and the computer's complexity, but it also draws us closer to answering the question in the future.